Hi there, this is Professor Innes again, and we are now on our 13th module, which is discussing libertarianism once more. This is important in SouthPark because with libertarianism we're talking about the major political theory which would explain the position taken by the producers, namely most of the comments they make illustrate an argument saying that individuals should be left to make their own choices. And we noticed that with the Kentucky Fried Chicken example here, when Cartman starts his own chicken corporation because it's been outlawed, and we see the consequences, which we're going to discuss shortly, of what happens when the government intervenes, becomes paternalistic, and outlaws certain substances. In this case, it's comically done with Cartman and the Kentucky Fried Chicken situation. So what we're going to discuss here is this view that there is a libertarian argument, but also we are predominantly influenced by paternalism, and we've got to think to ourselves, can paternalism ever be justified? In SouthPark we've got a feeling that it's not justified. We've got a feeling here that maybe it's not a good argument. But at the same time, we are philosophers, and we do notice when they do put forward rather paternalistic arguments. So we've got to say when paternalism is okay and when it's not okay. So we could start by looking at the Raisins episode. There we have that reference to the Hooters restaurant, whereby we've got teenage girls being sexually exploited by the owners to get people to come in and buy hamburgers. So in that sense, should the government step in and stop that from happening? They stop many other examples of sexual exploitation, so why not this one? It's quite obvious what's going on here, so why not stop it? But the case would be, as Mill would say, that we can only step in as a government and exact paternalistic laws if and only if the act is harmful, and it's got to be seen as harmful. So with the Raisins case here, as we're referring to Hooters, maybe we can't discern clearly that this is harmful. Maybe we just don't like it. Maybe we just disagree with it. So in order to be paternalistic, the argument has got to be considered as justified. So that would be the consideration, but at the same time we're going to understand here that there are many examples of paternalism, and you notice it here with the case of the Cartman and his Kentucky Fried Chicken episode. So paternalism is understood as that the government does intervene and prevent something. Here we've got arguments why paternalism is a bad thing. So we've understood why it is a good thing, but here it seems in the cartoons we've got a pretty strong argument against it being accepted. So why is paternalism a bad thing? So the text goes through two reasons. One is consequences, and the other one is futility. So consequences, you ban something, like we saw with Cartman, it creates crime, and the price of the product goes up. The individuals cannot refer to the law to settle disputes, so they end up shooting each other, and so forth and so on. So it seems like the consequences create greater harm than the harm itself. So why not just let people go about their business? In this case it was with the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and just have the product. I mean, they're going to get it anyway, and if they don't get this drug, they get another drug. So what's the point? Why don't I just let them get on with it? So that's the libertarian argument, for arguing that the consequences are far greater, cause more harm than the actual product itself. And also, number two is futility. again, it's the case whereby you're trying to ban this thing, but is it possible to do so? I mean, like we just said, is it likely that the individual will get the drug from somewhere else, or if they don't get that particular drug, are they likely to simply get some other drug? So it's going to happen anyway. So why bother? And it seems, we're just going around chasing all these people, locking up one person just so somebody else can come along and take that job away from them. So it seems pretty pointless. So the paternalistic argument doesn't seem to be pretty strong, or doesn't seem to be taken seriously by the SouthPark people. So keep that in mind. That's the SouthPark argument, and it's not necessarily the case that paternalism is bad and libertarianism is good. That's just the argument you see within the cartoons. Also, we've got to keep in mind here Kant's argument. Immanuel Kant put forward the argument of deontology, and it was the case that paternalism removes people of their autonomy and their ability to take responsibility for their actions. Namely, to choose. They need to be able to choose. In order to be a height of moral agency, therefore a good moral person, amoral person, who can make these choices, they've got to be allowed to left alone and to make these choices. Now, they even may make the bad choice, but nonetheless, it's their choice, and you can't go forward and tell them that, or force them to do the good thing, because it destroys their autonomy. You can go along and advise them if you like, but still at the end of the day, it's their choice if they do this thing or don't do that thing. Namely, here it would be the case of, I don't know, maybe referring to raisins, their choice to work in this restaurant, or with the Kentucky Fried Chicken, their choice to have the chicken. So in that respect, it's the individual's choice. Now, again, if you enforce paternalistic laws and regulations, then it's destroying their autonomy, which is the greatest of sins. So therefore, it's best to just let them do as they choose, even if you consider what they're doing to be unacceptable or even harmful to themselves. Because at the end of the day, their moral autonomy is far more important than what is done to their bodies. Okay, so basically this is, again, talking about libertarianism. You're going to refer to J.S. Mill once again about self-ownership. There's reference to Hayek as well with his private sphere. Just think about the twig man with a circle drawn around him. And again, that's that private sphere, that autonomous sphere whereby the individual can make his or her own choices. So that's what we've got here understood. So be careful, please, to refer to the cartoons in everything you do. This is about South Park. Yes, we're learning a lot about politics and epistemology and ethics and so forth. We're going to go into gay marriage in the next module. We'll also do some music as well. But refer to the cartoons as well, please. Okay, so your journal entry. So once you've made your initial journal entry, you then come to this module here, and you'll take this to be your reply to my reply. So here you've got the prompt. So the prompt is: discuss the 2 episodes that best discuss libertarianism's rejection of paternalism. Discuss the 2 episodes that best discuss libertarianism's rejection of paternalism. So one more time. Discuss the 2 episodes that best discuss libertarianism's rejection of paternalism. So, with that prompt, you are discussing here, you're going to get 2 episodes, choose whichever one you like the best, the 2 you like the best, and have that view, we're not saying it's right, of course, have the view that libertarianism seems to be considered as superior to paternalism within the South Park episodes. So you've got that view. And again, you're a philosopher here, you're not taking sides. You might even prefer libertarian arguments. above paternalistic arguments. You might do so that personally, but that doesn't mean to say that you're right. We're not quite sure which one is the better argument, so keep that in mind, because sometime in the future we may find out that paternalism is far better than libertarianism. I don't know how that's going to happen, but nonetheless, we're not quite sure which one is which. Okay, which one is the better of the two? So again, just before I go, your journal prompt is: discuss the 2 episodes that best discuss libertarianism's rejection of paternalism. And again, refer to those cartoons, please, in everything you do. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you, and I'll speak to you soon in the journals and other pieces of work. So have a nice time with this discussion. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.